Hello everyone, my name is Thierry Bechtel. Are you familiar with this? It is a 24-volt driver typically used for LED strips with 4 outputs, and it's DALI controllable. But more importantly, it can be used in many different ways. A single DT6 address, DALI type 6, with only the first output activated. 2, 3 or 4 independent DALI DT6 addresses to control each output independently. A single DT6 address, but with all 4 outputs activated and synchronized. A single address, but in DALI DT8 Tunable White. Or even with a single DT8 address, but for RGBW. Not to mention other specific modes, such as the ASODIM function, which we won't talk about in this video. Today, for this demo, we will use the 100-watt waterproof version as an example, but other power ratings and formats are available. When you receive the driver brand new, straight out of the box, none of its outputs are activated. The moment you plug it in for the first time, it will automatically detect which outputs have LEDs connected to them and will configure itself accordingly. For example, if you have LEDs connected to channel 1 and 2, but nothing connected to outputs 3 and 4, the driver will automatically activate the first 2 outputs and completely deactivate the last 2. As a result, on your DALI bus, the driver will only use 2 addresses, because it has only 2 outputs actually in use. This prevents it from using more addresses than necessary. These 2 addresses will be automatically independent in DALI DT6. Now let's imagine you tested the driver in your workshop with a single LED strip, but once you're in the installation, you end up needing to use 2 outputs instead of 1. As I mentioned, output 2, 3 and 4 were disabled when you tested it in the workshop. This means your second LED strip will remain off. So, you need to tell the driver to perform a new search on its outputs to see which ones are actually being used. By the way, you simply need to connect at least 0.25 watts of LED strip to an output for it to be considered in use. So, to perform this search again, it's very simple. You connect your 2 outputs, turn on the driver, and place a magnet on the designated spot on the driver for at least 5 seconds. The driver will detect this magnet, rescan for connected loads on the outputs, adjust its auto-addressing, and activate the corresponding outputs. And you can repeat this process as often as you want. Oh yes, we're nice. There is always a spare magnet included in the box of each driver. In any case, if you're only using plug and play without programming, the driver will operate in DALI DT6, meaning monochrome, with its outputs controllable independently. If you want the outputs to be synchronized, for example, or if you want to operate in Tunable White or RGBW, you will need to program the driver with the free software Inventronics and a DALI Magic programming interface. And to help you, I've included ready-to-use programming files in the description of this video. Finally, a quick note about the wiring if you want to use DT8. In Tunable White mode, connect the cool channel to output 1 and the warm channel to output 2. In RGBW mode, simply connect the outputs in the following order: red, green, blue, and white. If you have any further questions about these drivers, please do not hesitate to contact us. We would be happy to help. Thank you for your attention, and see you soon.